Good morning, everyone. This is Indrani, working as Assistant Professor in the Institute of Aeronautical Engineering College. Today, we are going to see one of the application of the op-amp, which is the astable multi-vibrator. So first, what is meant by multi-vibrator? So here, multi-vibrator is a regenerative circuit. Regenerative means which is continuously generating. So here, this multi-vibrator is mainly used for the timing-based application. We are using this multi-vibrator. So here regenerative means here repeatedly it is generating the same type of waveform, and particularly this is used for the timing application. So here the multivibrators are divided here. Today we are going to see the multivibrator application using the op-amp. So the types of multivibrators are astable multivibrator, monostable multivibrator and bistable multivibrator. So in this astable multivibrator here, so a stable multivibrator means it consists of the one stable state. Here completely it consists of the quasi-stable state. Here in the astable multivibrator, it will toggle between one state to the another state without any influence of the external pulse. So without giving any external signal here, it will move from one state to the another state. The other name of this astable multivibrator is the free running oscillator. Free running oscillator. But coming for the monostable multivibrator, the name itself it will tell monostable. So here this monostable multivibrator is it will be stable in the stable state for the long amount of time. By applying some external trigger pulse, the corresponding circuit will move to the quasi-stable state. So here this is also called as a one-shot multi-vibrator. By giving the external signal which is acting as a trigger signal, the circuit is going into the quasi-stable state for some particular duration of the time. Again it will come back to the stable state. Okay, if I want to change the state of the system, then I need to go for either the monostable multivibrator or astable multivibrator. Okay, in the astable multivibrator, for the change of states, there is no any external trigger pulse, any external circuit arrangement is not required. But coming for the monostable, some external trigger pulse is required to move from one state to the another state. After going from another state, it will stay in the same state for some particular duration of the time. Again, it will come back to the original state. The system will come back to the original state. So today we are going to see the astable multivibrator. So please remind the other name of this astable multivibrator is a free running multivibrator. Free running multivibrator. If you observe this circuit diagram, in this circuit diagram here, we are not giving any type of AC signal. Just observe here, even for the inverting terminal and the non-inverting terminal, we are not applying any of the AC signal. Simply, I have connected the inverting terminal through the capacitor short circuited to ground, and the non-inverting terminal has been given as a feedback connection through the resistor divider network we have given here. So in this mode, this op-amp will work as some comparator. So simply it will do the comparison between the inverting terminal and non-inverting terminal of the op-amp. So here if you observe here, suppose if the inverting terminal voltage, the voltage at V2 is greater than the voltage at V3, that is the voltage at the non-inverting terminal of op-amp, what will happen? Simply your output V0 will go to V0 will go to minus Vsat. Similarly, if the potential at V2 is less than the positive potential V3, then your V0 will go to plus Vsat. So based on the comparison of the voltage at the inverting terminal and the non-inverting terminal, your output voltage value will move from minus Vsat to plus Vsat or plus Vsat to the minus Vsat. Okay. So first we should have what is the operation of this one. A basic idea is required for this. So that's why I'm telling this. Basically your output will go from minus Vsat to the plus Vsat as well as the plus Vsat to the minus Vsat. Okay. So now we go for the corresponding potential divided network. Now, if you observe here, your V0 is going from plus Vsat to minus Vsat or minus Vsat to plus Vsat, it is moving. Now, here if you observe here, there is a potential divider network has been taken. The potential divider network is here, R1 and R2 is a potential divider network here. Whatever the voltage that is appearing across this resistor R2, this voltage is nothing but, the voltage across this resistor R2 is nothing but the voltage at the corresponding, the non-inverting terminal of the op-amp. So what I am assuming is, the voltage at this point is taken as a beta times of V0. What is a beta here? So generally here, beta times of V0 is some constant amount beta, which is in the ratio of the resistance value into V0 time. So here that voltage I am calling as a reference voltage. That is the reference voltage. Now what is the voltage across this one? Through the potential divider network. Here if you see, the applied voltage is V0 and the voltage across this R2 is R2 into V0 by R1 plus R2. Right? R2 into V0 by R1 plus R2. Okay. So here finally you will get the corresponding voltage across this one. Here the beta equal to R2 by R1 plus R2. So by R2 by R1 plus R2 times of V0, that will go as the input for the non-inverting terminal of the op-amp. Okay. So now here if you observe here, just imagine that according to the operation wise here. Now what will happen? Suppose if I am taking beta equal to R2 by R1 plus R2. Now through this thing, I got the, initially just assume that the corresponding V0 value equal to plus Vsat is a V0 value. Now through the plus Vsat, what is the potential that is appearing across this R2? The voltage across this R2 is R2 by R1 plus R2 into plus Vsat. This is the voltage that will appear across this resistor R2. So this voltage is nothing but the voltage at the non-inverting terminal of the op-amp. Okay. So the voltage at the non-inverting terminal of op-amp, when V0 value is plus Vsat, is R2 by R1 plus R2 into plus Vsat. Okay. This is the voltage at 3. Now coming for the inverting terminal of op-amp. Now what is the purpose of inverting terminal? See here, the voltage at this point is Vsat and there is a one feedback resistor is there. Through the feedback resistor, the function of your capacitor is, the capacitor will do the charging. Okay. The function of your capacitor is, the capacitor will start the charging. So to which value it will try to charge? The corresponding capacitor will try to charge through the value of plus Vsat. Through the value of plus Vsat, actually your capacitor will try to charge. Okay. But when the voltage across the capacitor, just reaches above R2 by R1 plus R2 into Vsat, when the voltage across the capacitor just reaches above R2 by R1 plus R2 into Vsat, simply what will happen? If the voltage across this capacitor is just above this voltage, then the potential at the 2 becomes more than the potential at 3. So immediately what will happen? The inverting voltage is greater than the non-inverting voltage. When the inverting voltage is greater than the non-inverting voltage, immediately your output voltage value move from plus Vsat to the minus Vsat. Okay, plus Vsat to the minus Vsat. So when the voltage across this one is minus Vsat, the output voltage is minus Vsat, then what is your function of your capacitor? Whether the capacitor will start doing the charging still? No, because one side it is having the potential is minus Vsat, another side it is having the storage value is R2 by R1 plus R2 into Vsat. So immediately what is the function of your capacitor? Your capacitor will start discharging. Your capacitor will start discharging its voltage value. Okay, so now your capacitor starts discharging. Now during that time, now when the output voltage value is minus Vsat, what is the reference voltage value? Your reference voltage value become R2 by R1 plus R2 into minus Vsat. So if I take that minus to quotient side, minus R2 by R1 plus R2 into Vsat is voltage across the R2. Now this voltage is there at the terminal 3. This voltage is there at the terminal 3. Okay. Now coming for the corresponding capacitor. When the output voltage value is minus Vsat, then whatever the voltage that has been stored by the capacitor, it will start discharging its voltage value. Okay. It starts discharging its voltage value. To which value it will start discharging? Your capacitor will discharge to the maximum value of the minus Vsat. Okay. But whether it will reach to minus Vsat means, let us see. When the voltage at this point is simply equal to, simply minus R2 by R1 plus R2 into Vsat. Okay. If it came to here and if it is reducing beyond this one, immediately what will happen? The potential at the point 3 become more than the potential at point 2. So when the potential at point 3 is more than the potential at point 2, simply your plus Vsat again moves to the minus Vsat, moves to the output voltage, moves from minus Vsat to the plus Vsat. Okay. If you observe this point here, one time when the output voltage value is a plus Vsat, your capacitor is doing the charging. Okay. So when the voltage at the terminal 2 became greater than the voltage at the terminal 3, then your output voltage value is switching from plus Vsat to the minus Vsat. When it came to minus Vsat, your capacitor will start discharging. Okay, when the output voltage is minus Vsat, what is the potential at 3 is minus R2 by R1 plus R2 into Vsat is the potential. When the voltage across this capacitor just reducing beyond this value, then at that time, the potential at 3 becomes more than the potential at 2. Then at that time again, your output voltage will move from minus Vsat to the plus Vsat. Okay, again, same cyclic process. Again, your capacitor will do charging. Later, negative terminal voltage become more than the positive terminal voltage. Again, it will move from minus Vsat to the plus Vsat to the minus Vsat. Like this, a complete cyclic process will run here. Now, based on this operation, who is playing the major role here? Yes. Here, whether these resistors are playing the major role means no. Mainly, whatever this capacitor is there, the capacitor is doing the major role. Whatever the charging time and whatever the discharging time of this capacitor is there, based on the charging time and the discharging time of the capacitor, your output voltage value is changing from plus Vsat to the minus Vsat and minus Vsat to the plus Vsat. So your capacitor is playing the major role here. So that's why in this circuit, mainly due to the capacitor voltage only, you are getting the output is a square wave type of output is generating. Here. Now, if you see the waveform, if you observe here, initially the output voltage is a plus Vsat, and if I consider initial voltage across the capacitor is minus Vsat, will be beta Vsat, it will charge from minus beta Vsat to, it will try to move towards the plus Vsat. A comparison at the second terminal and third terminal will be over, and again your voltage across the output voltage value will move from plus Vsat to minus Vsat. At that time, your capacitor starts discharging its voltage value. When the voltage across the capacitor just reducing beyond minus beta Vsat, again the negative terminal potential become more than the positive terminal potential. Again, I will get the corresponding output is a positive square. Okay, so here during the if you observe here, when the capacitor is charging, when the output voltage value is positive, your capacitor is charging. When the output voltage value is negative, your capacitor is discharging. When the capacitor voltage is discharging to minus beta Vsat, again your output voltage value is going from negative cycle to positive cycle. Like that, I am getting the corresponding waveform. Now, in this one, I need to find what is the frequency of the oscillations. Frequency of oscillation means here I need to find what is the time period. Because here, based on the capacitor charging and discharging time only, your total output square wave is dependent. So that's why here we are considering only this waveform we are considering here. Okay. By considering this waveform, now consider what is the function of your capacitor at point A. Actually, your function of your capacitor is when the output voltage value is positive, your function of your capacitor is it will start charging towards the plus Vsat. Okay, but when it will reach to plus beta Vsat, immediately the negative tape potential became more than the positive potential. Means the inverting terminal voltage become more than the non-inverting voltage, and at the time I will get the corresponding output voltage waveform will move from positive square to the negative square. Okay, when the output is moving from positive square to the negative square, now at that time your capacitor starts discharging its voltage value. To which value actually it has to discharge? It has to try to discharge to the voltage value of minus Vsat. But when the voltage across the capacitor came to minus beta Vsat itself, immediately again you will get the non-inverting terminal voltage become more than the inverting terminal voltage. Again I will get the output voltage value will move from minus Vsat to the plus Vsat. A square wave will get. So when the output voltage value is a plus Vsat, again your capacitor will start charging. From where it is charging? From minus beta Vsat, it starts charging its voltage value. Okay, like this the cycle will be repeated. Here if you observe one point, we are not applying any external trigger pulse, nothing we are applying. Simply based on the capacitor charging period and discharging period itself, complete square wave we are getting here. Okay, now I need to find what is the frequency. To find the frequency, first consider the point of A. Consider the point of A. So in this point of A, this minus beta Vsat is the actual voltage across the capacitor, but actually the capacitor has to charge to the maximum value of plus Vsat. Okay, so that's why here by considering the initial voltage and final voltage expression, the voltage across the capacitor, it depends on the time period, equal to final voltage plus initial voltage minus final voltage into e power minus t by RC. Okay, so if I substitute what is the final voltage? What is the final voltage? Your capacitor actually it has to reach to plus beta Vsat, it has to reach. So that's why V final is kept as plus Vsat has been given here. What is the initial voltage? From where it has started, the initial voltage is minus beta Vsat is the initial voltage. Okay, and final voltage is Vsat is a final voltage value. Okay, the voltage across the capacitor equal to plus Vsat plus minus beta Vsat minus Vsat into e power minus t by RC. Based on this expression we have written here. Okay, so now similarly if I take Vsat as common in this equation, then I will get the equation as Vsat minus Vsat into 1 plus beta into e power minus t by RC. Okay, this is the equation what I am getting here. Now if you observe this point, if I consider at a time t1, actually what is the voltage charged across the capacitor? The voltage across the capacitor simply has been reached to plus beta Vsat, but your capacitor has tried to move towards the plus Vsat, but unfortunately your capacitor has charged it to the only value of the beta Vsat itself. So that's why if I substitute beta Vsat is the voltage across this capacitor, then I will get the expression of the form like this. In this one, I can cancel the Vsat and Vsat in the entire equation. I can cancel. Okay, if I cancel and if I write the expression for time t1, so here after cancellation, you are getting the equation like this. So simplify this equation. Finally, T1 equal to RC into 1 plus beta into 1 minus beta. Okay. So what is a beta? Beta is nothing but R2 by R1 plus R2. Just to substitute beta by R2 by R1 plus R2. Simplify the equation. Then you will get the answer of the form like this. Okay. So now from this one, the total time period is, if you observe the waveform here, in this waveform only I have considered only this part of the time only I have considered, not the total time period. Total time period means both the positive square as well as the negative square. Means here this is also becomes T1. Time period becomes a T1. So that's why total time period equal to 2 times of T1 I need to consider. So if I consider total time period is 2 times of T1 here, then you will get 2 RC into ln of 1 plus beta by 1 minus beta. Okay, this is the expression what I am getting. This is the time period for the corresponding oscillations. This is the time period for the oscillations. Okay, now from this one, the frequency of oscillations. What is the frequency of oscillations? f naught equal to 1 by t. So whatever you got previously the derivation, just to substitute the time period in this expression. So this is the frequency of the oscillation. If you are able to vary the corresponding R2 and R1 value, then you can vary the corresponding frequency of the oscillations we can vary. Okay, so this is the frequency of the corresponding square wave. This is the frequency of the square wave. So if I consider R1 equal to R2, then what is the beta? Beta equal to R by R2 by R1 plus R2 means if I take R1 equal to R2, I will get beta value equal to 0.5. And if I substitute this one in this expression, time period expression, then you can get 2 R's into ln of 3. So which is of equal to the frequency form f naught equal to 1 by 2.2 into RC. Okay, 1 by 2.2 into RC. Okay, this is the equation what I am getting here. So this is the frequency. Based on your resistance value, basically I can vary the corresponding frequency of the oscillation. So today what we learned here, we have learned regarding the stable multivibrator, which is a free running multivibrator. Now one question, why we are calling this one as a free running multivibrator? Why we are calling it as a free running multivibrator is, we are not applying any extra force, external force we are not at all applying. Okay, simply based on your capacitor charging and discharging and the op-amp functionality itself. Because of that, entirely charging and discharging time it is taking, automatically I am getting the corresponding square wave. Okay, and other name of this stable multivibrator is square wave generator. Square wave generator. Without giving any external trigger pulse, it is generating automatically the corresponding square pulse. And what is the frequency of the square pulse is? The frequency of the square pulse will depends on what is the value of RC value and what is the value of the corresponding beta value. Anyway, we know that how to set the corresponding beta with respect to the op-amp. Okay, so like this, I can generate the corresponding square wave of any required frequency. Okay, thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.